Hello everybody, Jet here, and welcome back to my next Let's Talk Total War, where we are doing Total War, another Warlord Legends with a Zheng Jiang. I can't find pronunciation of this online because she likely didn't exist. This is as I have seen online and been told by my people in my Discord. Sorry, I'm checking if I'm actually recording. That's why I looked sideways for a second. Is definitely a more diversive lord because, well, she's not one of the major characters from the Romance of the Three Kingdoms novels. She is something a bit different, and debatably didn't exist or is a mix of multiple different characters. Zheng and Jiang were both names given for bandit leaders which related to. So my understanding is, there might be more of this further down in the comments, but my understanding is that they have basically created one character to embody the bandits who they were doing research on, and the second in command is kind of representing the other possible one as well. Now, she's not one of the major characters, but she does sound like she adds an interesting dynamic, which we will go in through there. So long as she adds an interesting dynamic to the game, and she's fun to play, and she literally adds to the game. Personally, I don't have a problem with them adding people so long as they're done in a good way. But that is something very different and not what I'm here to discuss. So we're going to go through her, as always. Big disclaimer. I'm not Creative Assembly staff, so what I'm talking could be complete and utter rubbish. I'm not an expert on the era, so again, what I'm talking could be rubbish. A lot of the information I've got is very second-hand there, certainly what I've just talked about. And everything is subject to change. So, Zheng Jiang, the Bandit Queen. A fierce warrior and anarchist bandit, she lives to burn down the corrupt Han dynasty. She can establish tributary states and extort regular payments from other factions. That's not the same as a vassal, guys, and it comes into that a bit later on. When her infamy is high, she gains higher morale in battle, higher XP, and extra prestige points, which drives her faction progression. So she's a champion, so she's going to be a fighter, and her nickname is the Bandit Queen. Who is she? Dynasties and nobility mean nothing to Zheng Jiang. She prefers to seize glory in her own way. As the Han burns, she sees at last the crumbling of an institution she deeply despises. What have they ever known of hunger? What fear have they ever felt for corrupt and avaricious officials? ZhengJiang has never known the ease of a noble upbringing, nor the expectation of civilized society. Instead, she is resolved to earn fame and prestige for herself through merciless fury and unrelenting strength. Her coming had allegedly been predicted by the scholar Liu Zhen in a dream, with renowned interpreter of dreams Zhao Zuan said to be right 9 times out of 10, warning that a female rebel would soon be at hand. Unlike some of her fellow bandits, Zheng Jiang is driven by a true political agenda. She wants to see the Han dynasty burn and fall at her hands. She thrives on this vision, relishing her rise to power and the chance to put the old oppressors under her boot and give them a taste of their own medicine. Zheng Jiang loves to have power and loves demonstrating it. She operates by subduing others and forcing them to pay tribute to her. As her infamy grows, Zheng Jiang's popularity, not surprisingly, decreases, making diplomacy more and more challenging as time progresses. However, as Zheng Jiang's power grows and she becomes more established, she also becomes more and more like the regime she is trying to burn down. Old Han structures will still be in place left and right, and Zheng Jiang will have to use them in order to lead what is essentially a new state. Zheng Jiang will also need ringleaders who are true to her cause to take her will into the provinces. For ZhengJiang, infamy and the momentum it brings her is key. She gains infamy from winning battles and striking settlements. This will decay if she becomes too passive. ZhengJiang must keep driving relentlessly forwards, or else she will lose the element of surprise and her rebellion will surely fail. Infamy is earned by capturing settlements, winning battles, having tributary states, which acknowledge her power by paying her money, but are not bound to follow her into war. However, infamy automatically reduces over time, so ZhengJiang can't rest on her laurels. If she is too passive for too long, her infamy will decrease. High infamy grants bonuses such as higher morale in battle, higher character XP gain, but most importantly, it provides prestige points, which are required to increase ZhengJiang's faction ranks and eventually proclaim herself Empress of a new dynasty. As a faction leader, ZhengJiang's personal bonuses focus on quicker mustering time and increased income from tributaries. ZhengJiang, also that sounds like other people can have tributaries, okay. ZhengJiang also has access to certain post-siege occupation options that enable her to loot and destroy on a grander scale than her peers. So the infamy sounds like an interesting mechanic for her, because if you've got really high infamy, nobody's going to want to speak to you, but you also want to keep it high because that gives you prestige points, gives you bonuses, but obviously you don't want to push it, potentially don't want to push it too high, because if it sounds too high, everybody's going to go toward me. So it sounds like a bit of a balancing act. You want it high, but you don't want it too high. We'll have to see how that comes to play out. Guanzi. ZhengJiang begins the campaign with Lu Zheng, her sworn sister and second in command. Together they fight to bring down the corrupt Han regime and give power back to the people. With no real allies to speak of, over time, ZhengJiang must focus on building up a following of loyal ringleaders who exercise her rule and ideas. Perhaps the biggest challenge is building up a dynasty and line of succession, with a clear candidate for this not immediately evident. While it is tradition for children to take the name of their father's family, ZhengJiang refuses to follow the Han's rules. In her faction, children are named after their mother. Start position, so you're starting up in the mountains again. ZhengJiang starts out in difficult terrain of the mountains and at war with the neighbouring Zhongzhou and Han Empire. However, the remoteness of her starting position does provide a good refuge and relative safety, but eventually she must leave this and start conquering. As a bandit leader, she doesn't have any clear established allegiances or diplomatic alignments, meaning her fortune and future are hers alone to carve. Her initial dilemma. So we've obviously got the thing. I'm not going to read it from up here because we'll have it all down here again. ZhengJiang's dilemma focuses on establishing a dominance in the mountains and provides a different angle on the clash between Yuan Shao and Gongsun Zan. As Zhang Yan enters the conflict, he calls on fellow bandit leaders for aid. As ZhengJiang, you have the choice of joining up with Zhang Yan against Yuan Shao, or instead denying his request and declaring war on him and attempting to secure your own supremacy over the mountains. Which, to be fair, I think is what most people will go for by her playstyle. Campaign progression. ZhengJiang's early game is all about setting up a good base of operations. Regional income sources need to be exploited in order to fund her warlordry, and a hideout must be established. Overall, however, ZhengJiang's progression path is quite flexible, with a number of different routes open to her. Due to her location in the northern mountains, ZhengJiang can expand west, east, or south. Expand east is the more obvious choice, and her dilemma points towards that direction. But likewise, she can try to set her own base of operations up in the west or south of her starting position along the Yellow River. Let's have a quick look. So Yellow River, is this, I don't know which river, yeah, it's here, so she can push down there. Obviously you've got east here, and you've got west, so can't see much to the west, though somebody is building up a great map of it all. During the mid-game, ZhengJiang must focus on building up her infamy through fighting and conquest, as well as establishing allies if she so chooses. Finally, in order to ultimately emerge victorious, ZhengJiang must accrue enough infamy to reach high levels of prestige, thus enabling her to proclaim herself empress and topple other pretenders. So I see this as you go along, you're going to be pushing your infamy higher and higher, balancing it with your power against what you can actually take on and how much of a diplomatic hit you can do. What kind of player is she for? ZhengJiang is a law unto herself, a fierce warrior who wants nothing more than to see the Han dynasty fall, no matter what for cost. As ZhengJiang, you must stay on the offensive. Sitting back and relaxing is not something you can do as part of her campaign. ZhengJiang is for players who want the challenge of striking out against the status quo, tearing through the realm on a tide of infamy that must not stop until you succeed. So further reading, we've got a couple of things there, and as always guys, this is being linked over on my Twitter. It will also be linked down in the comments, guys. While she is definitely a diverse character, and definitely seems to be quite a lot of controversy about her and her history, she does sound like a very fun character, and she does sound like she's going to add to the campaign. Certainly sounds like she's going to provide a nice balance to the other bandit leader we discussed just down here. I'm trying to remember his name. Zheng Jiang. No, not Zheng Jiang. Zheng Yan. So it sounds like he's going to provide a nice balance to that as well. So we've kind of got two different stances on that kind of character. And she sounds like she's going to have to be another very aggressive character to play. All in all, I think she sounds like quite a fun character to play. And I think she will actually add something to the game, even if she is controversial. As always, guys, please feel free to pop any comments in the comments section or jump over to my Discord and say hi. There is a link to my Discord in the comments, as well as links to the description, as well as links to my Twitter, my Patreon, and my affiliations with Fanatical and Overclockers UK, which you can please check them out. Thank you very much for your time, guys.